Good evening, friends and colleagues and esteemed people from the media who have joined us on this award-winning production. This is the Long Run Show that's live into your living rooms and into your ears, or maybe you're listening back as a podcast as you gently jog along. So thank you very much for taking us with you. Who is it? On your run. Anyway, good evening, everybody, and welcome to this award-winning show. We might not mention that again. But yes, this is our award-winning show that comes to you live on Friday. And our award-winning co-hosts are here. So we've got the award-winning Hayden. Hayden?
Good evening, everyone.
We've got the award-winning Wilco.
Hello, everybody.
And he's got a new mic, the award-winning Ben.
Good evening.
And myself, I'm here. And tonight we're going to be talking about, what was it again?
Enhancing your performance.
Thank you. Long runs. We talk about long runs, people, because some of you are now pushing the boundaries in terms of what you can do as human beings. Because apparently some famous chap said no human is limited. So you're all going to be out there smashing your long runs. So we thought we'd help you. We've got some very, very sensible people in the house. We've got some qualified coaches and some qualified run leaders. So we're going to be giving you expert advice. Yes, expert. You did hear that come out. But we've got some other things to discuss before we get into that. We've got some important things to go through. Now, before we do anything, we've got to give a shout out to our friends at Cooper. Because you can get 20% off and a free trial at Cooper. Did you know that, Ben?
I did. I think we've mentioned it a couple of times.
And you can go over to fordyruns.com/Cooper and you're going to get that now. Immediately, you're going to get that. You're going to get 20% off and a free trial. You can also get some fueling for you with these long runs that you're going to be doing from our friends at Kendall. There's a discount code. You can use the code 40runs at Kendall. And it was lovely to see everybody on the Kendall stand at the weekend where I lost my voice. And the last thing that we've got to give a shout out to is anybody wants coaching, get in touch, hello@fordyruns.com. That's the last thing I needed to make. I know. Right, boys. It's an all boy show tonight. How are we doing, chaps? Are we all right? Wilco, we haven't seen you for a while. Is everybody okay?
Yeah, very well, mate. Yeah, all good. I'm ticking along. We're week 9, preparing for Brighton. I'm still managing to squeeze in all the requirements of the Hanson training plan. Did 11 miles before work this morning, which I've never done before. So, yeah, we're ticking along and it's not going too bad.
That's good. Just a shout out to everybody who's watching this live or starting to come and join us live. Get your questions, comments in as we go through the show. Always interested to hear from you guys. Wilco's going to be keeping an eye on that for us as we go through. So make sure you get in there. Ben, apparently you've done some running. Is that confirmed or denied?
It's confirmed. I've done gym and double run today.
Oh, God.
Oh. Who knew?
It's just say it's absolutely amazing. And Hayden, you're back running after your injury.
I'm back out there, week into it now. So, yeah, feeling good about it. Yeah, do you know what? It's actually quite tough not running. I think, something you absolutely love doing, when someone says to you, basically, you can't do it, or your body tells you you can't do it, that's a really tough moment. I haven't experienced it. I know you guys have in the past, especially you, Chris, but now back out there, feeling good and cracking on with the plan.
Yeah, yes. Sorry, I was just going to say, when I used to sort of like report on football and things and listening to footballers moaning that, I'm out for 6 weeks, I'm climbing the walls, and I used to think, God, you live such a life. What's the matter with you? Now, if I can't run for a week, I'm absolutely climbing the walls. I don't know what to do. And it's really sort of like, I was a bit hard on them, really. It's a bit harsh.
Now, I've got a couple of things we need to get over first before we do anything else tonight, because we do want to genuinely get onto like long runs, okay? We do want to help you. Firstly, and this has got absolutely nothing to do with running. I'm just pre-warning everybody, but it's been something that's been mildly irritating me this week. And I thought to myself, when I was walking along this morning, in a sort of fit of rage, and it wasn't at the gym, I thought to myself, I'm gonna put this out there tonight and find out if the boys and girls, because I thought Abby was on tonight, I actually feel the same way about this. So here's the scenario, right? I get on the train, yeah? I get on at the same place in the same seat every day on the same train, right? Anybody who's like me can totally... So I follow my journey. I get off the train. I take the same route. I go through the same like trap door, whatever they call it. Same miserable person who works in Greater Anglia is just standing there getting on everyone's nerves. And I go for the same route. Now, here's the problem. Imagine my anger when there's people walking along, watching what they've been watching on the train. I think this is unacceptable behaviour, and I think it should be banned in any railway station across the country. So what they're doing, they're coming off the train, they're walking along like this. Going, and it doesn't matter whether I had like a bag of money, they'd still be watching whatever they were watching, which is infuriating when I'm trying to go round them. Ben, are you one of those people, or are you in my camp?
No, I'm generally in your camp with that. I wouldn't. I think when I get off and I start walking, I just want to get somewhere. Yeah, I'm not a fan of walking.
And if you came across said criminal, what would you do?
Oh, now, can I admit what I do?
Yeah,
I might accidentally kind of nudge them as I walked past.
hero move. Wilco, would such criminals infuriate you as much as they infuriate me?
No, I don't get infuriated by anything, mate.
Oh no, it's a bit annoying. He's so chilled out. But can you see my point now?
Oh yeah, I can see why it's a bit. Yeah, I can see what I can understand why you might get enraged by.
Especially if they go through my gate. If they go through my gate and they're watching their phone, they're even more trouble.
When you're going through the gate, invariably you're touching him with your phone, aren't you?
No, they're using their cards. See, they're sneaky, these sods. They use their card so they can they go like this and they just go like that. And the miserable geezer from Great Wrangler don't say nothing. And I'm trying behind them to go. It's not good. Hayden, what's your thoughts on these perpetrators?
The first thing that comes to mind is, maybe it's a bit childish, but do you know what I'd love more than anything? Is one day I'm going to get to your train station, jump on your train just before you, sit in your seat that you sit in all the time. And when I get out, I'm going to start watch Landman on my phone, go through your barrier, stop at the barrier, have a problem with the barrier, to upset you. Honestly, that would finish you off.
I can't handle it when people go at the barrier and they're not prepared for the barrier because they're watching the phone. How can you not be prepared for the big barrier that's in front of you?
But surely if Hayden did this thing, you'd be initially shocked that he was actually using public transport.
This is this would really throw me out because obviously I'd be like, "Where's Jeeves?" You know what I mean? And Spigo has attempted that, by the way, Hayden. Spigo has attempted that, but actually it had the reverse effect because I quite enjoyed getting the train with Spigo. It's like a little birthday surprise. It's fantastic. Anyway, if you feel aggrieved like I do, send an email into Greater Anglia. We hate people on their phones.com. Make sure you do that. Now, this weekend, Hayden, something apparently is going on down at Bushy Park.
There is. We've got the same as we've had for the last 20 years or now. We've got the park run, but this week's going to be a little bit different. We've got, I think he's in the comments saying good evening. We've got Mr. Darren Burrows, the shining light of the community. Literally, he's got his 100th park run tomorrow at Bushy, and so a few of us are going down there to celebrate with him. And we're kicking off a 40 Runs Running Club bit of a challenge tomorrow, where we're going to have a flag that we're going to start to see how far around the country, indeed Europe or the world, we can get the flag before Christmas, before we get it back. We're starting tomorrow at Bushy Park, and we're going to hand it over to someone who's going to go further afield. So yeah, it's going to be a great day down there at Bushy. So if you're in the area, make sure you come down and say hi.
What about the other one? The one that's where we're going all over the country. I know we're doing also Scotland, we're doing Wales, we're doing the whole country. What's that challenge?
Yes, we have a couple of challenges. We just want to get people invigorated. We want to get people to park run. We want to get people out on a Saturday morning, whether it's just you by yourself or you want to take your kid with you. So we want to inject a bit of enthusiasm, a bit of energy into it. And we thought, let's come up with like a game, a challenge. And because the community is so widespread over the UK, we've got 48 weeks of the year left. There's 48 counties in England. So we thought, you know what? Every week this year, let's try and get someone out in one of them counties. Just a picture of you at the park run. So we literally worked out a spreadsheet of 48 counties in a row over the 48 weeks. And we want to see one person with a picture every single week from now up until the end of 48 weeks. If you can post it on the Long Run socials, that'd be just as great if you're not in the community. If not, join the community. It's free and get involved there. But I say this week, we're going to start off week one. We are in actually all three of you guys, aren't we? We are in the lovely county of Hertfordshire.
Yeah, but if you come to Hertfordshire, I can't promise you you're going to enjoy Berkeley Park Run. I really like it, and I really like the people there. But just to clarify, don't murder me if you come all that way to do Berkeley. All right, it's something that you should all do once, and the people are amazing. Just to make that absolutely clear, right? It's a few laps around a little dirty pond.
It's actually quite funny. We've got something called Carolyn, who helped me out with the challenge with Alan as well. We've got something called Carolyn's criteria. So with these park runs in the counties, you have to be sort of go to one of the criteria, the park runs. So she's done a list of all of them. I was typing them out this morning. Hertford's got, I think, 8 or 9 park runs. And the second one out on the list was Barclays. As I was typing it out, I had that little smile on my face. I remember the conversation we had last week about it.
You'll have to come one week, mate.
Yeah, you'll have to. Honestly, we need to do a Barclay meetup.
Yeah.
But ideally, it's the winter course. Okay. So if you're listening to this on your pod, and you've got nothing to do one weekend, come to Hertfordshire and go to Barclay Park for the park run. It's cracker, absolute cracker, especially if you love running around a pond. Now, talking of milestones, Hayden, bit of a milestone this week was announced. We won another award.
Did we really?
Yeah.
Of course we did. I've actually got to look, I'm going to scare the absolute living doodads out of people. We won.
We won. Now, what's incredible, and I just want to take 2 seconds to thank everybody. What's incredible was that the public voted for that. Okay, we didn't have to sponsor a show, take a stand and pay thousands and thousands of pounds for a stand. It wasn't voted for by an exhibition or anything like that. It was voted for by the people, and that means more than anything to us. And we genuinely, hand on heart, no bullshit, really, really, can't be more appreciative to what you did by voting for us, because it means a lot. It doesn't mean a lot in terms of, you won an award. It's actually that you guys got behind us and believe in what we do. And as I always say, I am blown away by the people who always come up to me and say, love the pod, or I'm running alongside them. FORDY, I'm just listening to you. It's brilliant. And the fact that we can provide some form of something for you, however you take from it, whatever you take, whether it's the coaching tips, whether it's the shoe stuff I do on a Monday, whether it's Ben's terrible sound that he sometimes has, whatever it is, I'm glad that we are able to give that to you. We're just mates who turn up. We love it. And I just genuinely want to say thank you to everybody. Wilco, from you as well.
Yeah, I can only echo sentiments. We started this up. It was in the middle of lockdown, wasn't it? 3.5 years ago. And we've never I've never even contemplated that anyone would listen, let alone vote for us to win awards and stuff. So we never take it for granted. We love all the feedback that we get. It's had a big effect with on me and the community as well. I've met so many people through the pod. That has that's been the best bit about it. So I'd just like to thank everybody.
Hayden?
Yeah, I think, and actually, to be fair, we could always, I say all the presenters we have on here are brilliant, but I must be honest, we're going to turn it around a little bit, because I know you don't like being the centre of attention. But to be fair, you might not come up with the idea originally. I think originally it was Alan who was talking about podcasts.
Yeah, big shout out to Al.
Big shout out to Al. But to be fair, you've driven it. You've driven it from day one. You're on it 99% of the time. You push it out with the socials. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have the platform for us all to be on here. And we're all here together as friends, as presenters, learning our trade through you. So do you know what, FORDY?
Yeah.
Awards for you, mate. It's brilliant. Done well.
He loves that.
It's true.
Massively uncomfortable moment. Ben, get me out of it.
No, absolutely. I echo what Hayden said there, and I think from my perspective, I came on for one show, kind of loved it, loved the reaction, and for me, I think it's echo Wilco. The social element and kind of seeing people, and I think we're taking it on the road, which is fantastic. It's amazing doing it.
We're taking it to America.
Exactly. doing it live in front of an audience is amazing, and taking it over to Chicago will just be another level. I'm really looking forward to that.
I was talking to Paul from Sports Tours. So if you did know, so Sports Tours, we're doing Chicago basically with them, right? We partnered up with Sports Tours. You guys are coming out there, hopefully staying in one of the hotels or whatever, getting involved in all the stuff we're doing, right? And if you're not staying in one of the hotels, you're still welcome to come to the pod, by the way. Absolutely. And but we were talking to Paul, and he's quite excited. He told me, bless him, how much they've paid to have this room, for what they've done. I nearly fell off my chair. I won't, because it's not right me telling you, but it's an astronomical amount. And I was thinking to myself, is he really going to be getting much value out of this? And I'm not joking. It's big money they've paid. And I'm thinking, don't get me wrong. I've already seen that, however many 50 people have already said they're coming, and, whatever, and they're doing their race briefings. But at the same time, you're thinking, this is just going to be us cocking about for a bit. And you paid that for that. So anyway, we really looking forward to Chicago. So come along. We will be in Newcastle. We'll do a live show there. But yeah, honestly, guys, and a big shout out, like you said, to Al, Marissa, admin, Speed Go, everybody, who's involved in the pod and has been involved with the pod. over the years. It's just been great. So thanks again to everybody's vote. Right. So what I thought we would do, right, is we sort of start at the top, being really good at this, being really amazing, and then bring it down to its usual level. Does that suit everyone? Because what
that's how it usually goes.
What's the other
intentions?
Because it got me thinking.
It's like going out for a drink, so I'm only going to have one. At the end of the night. Oh, God.
So what it is I realised at the sort of last minute that Wilco was on tonight. And then I realised that sort of you guys are going to Bushit the weekend. So I thought, why not bring back and test our really popular game, Would You Rather? Oh. So, but it gets better. Because I thought we've won this award now, right? It's a slippery slope from this point onwards. So I've done an intro.
Oh,
so we're going to not only play probably the worst game that ITV do want to actually get on, Wilco, could be a job for you.
Oh, cool.
But I've also added, and it's genius, a great open. Are you ready for this? Now, if you've not played Would You Rather, you need to get in the comments. And if you're listening to this podcast, you need to play along. I can't guarantee that this is going to go to plan. But as you'd expect, this is live. This could be carnage. It might not, but we will come on to the long run bit. And again, if you're looking to write a review and say that the first 20 minutes of this show is total bollocks, write it, because I'm with you on that one. No, Wilco, it's award-winning bollocks.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Are you ready for this? Oh, this spent minutes to do.
Would you rather?
Would you rather? Would you rather?
Would you rather?
Be fair.
That's Ben's favourite picture ever.
I love that picture. I have to say, up until that point, I was like, what is this? And I was just like, okay, it got better at the end.
Be fair, that was good, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so if you're listening to this podcast, you're going to have to watch it back. Right, okay. So if you didn't know, you have to play along. You have to choose one of the options. Wilco, this is your first time playing this game, isn't it?
It is very much so, yeah.
Yeah, this is why I thought we'd bring it out for this. And it's got a theme to it. It's got a theme, okay? Based around Bushy. Okay, right, here we go.
What is that?
It's going to get worse. Deb, it's going to get worse. Right, okay. Remember, play along. So, would you rather go to Bushy Park Run and write... Just see what I wrote. Would you... Shh. Hey, shut up. Would you rather go to Bushy Park Run and run despite being blinded by light bouncing off someone's teeth? Or... Shut up. Or run the Sydney Marathon dressed as a cowboy? Wilco, remember this is quick fire.
Bushy,
but you got to explain. Bushy doing what?
In running, being blinded by somebody's gnashes.
Okay, Hayden.
Bushy with sunglasses on.
Ben.
Yeah, Bushy with sunglasses on. Got needle.
Okay. So next, would you rather run Bushy Park Run despite being blinded by light bouncing off someone's teeth, or run a 10K backwards? Wilco.
Bushy Park Run, having my eyes blinded by a big set of gnashes.
Hayden.
I'll go with the gnashers, being blinded and running at Bushy.
Ben.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go blinded every time.
Okay. Would you rather run Bushy Park Run and run despite being blinded by light bouncing off somebody's teeth, or roller skate with your eyes closed? Wilco.
I'm not a bad roller skater, but no, I still want to go to Bushy. I just want, just see those teeth.
Seen from here, mate.
I don't see the value in the roller skating blind, so I'm going to stick with Bushy and getting blinded by the teeth.
Right, Ben.
I was going to say, you're going to get blinded either way. I still go Bushy.
Okay. Next, would you rather go to Bushy and run despite being blinded by someone's teeth, or squat with your spurs on? Wilco.
Oh.
I'd rather go to Bushy and be blinded by somebody's teeth.
Hayden.
I'm going to stick with Bushy.
Ben.
I'm going Bushy again.
Would you rather go to Bushy Park Run and run despite being blinded by light bouncing off someone's teeth, or run in the Antarctic half marathon barefooted? Wilco.
Oh, I'm definitely not doing that. I'm definitely going to Bushy to be blinded by somebody's teeth.
Hayden.
Wilco, I'll see you at Bushy, mate.
Again.
Sorry, I've just seen a comment. I mean, as much as I want to go to the Antarctic, I'd like to.
We've not said whose teeth they are.
Exactly.
Wilco, this is in the game. Imagine this is on TV. You can't bet. We're on the penultimate one. Would you rather go to Bushy Park Run and run despite being blinded by somebody's teeth running next to you? Or would you rather fry your bacon naked?
I put my bacon in the air fryer, so it's not really an issue.
I don't know what to say. I think
bacon naked or run with what's his face with his big bright teeth at Bushy. No,
I'm going to go with the big bright teeth with what's his face at Bushy.
Ben.
I echo that.
Okay, last one. But we're buggered because it's the same answer. Would you rather go to Bushy Run and Bushy Park Run and despite being blinded by teeth, or go to Darren's 100th park run on Saturday? Wilco.
I'd rather go to Bushy and be blinded by somebody's teeth.
What? See, Darren.
It's exactly the same thing.
Oh, the titles.
Would you rather?
Would you rather? Would you rather?
Would you rather?
What the blazes was that?
I did
I
warn
say,
you.
I
I
like
warned
that.
all of you that we won an award and then it goes to shit. Basically.
That difficult second season.
That's it. Right, everybody calm down and relax. I think the opening set.
What have
the
you
tone.
been drinking today?
No, I've only had this.
Does everybody here on the Long Run Show, not us lot, in the comments, know what the hell we're even referring to or talking to?
No, probably not. It's an in joke. But you'll find out some of you tomorrow. Okay, I'm confused.
I blame you,
Don't
Shell.
worry.
Me too, mate.
Don't worry.
I've just received a message. It says, "Wow."
And whoever that was from, I don't know who.
I don't know.
Hayden put me up to it. Okay, so let's get a little bit of value out after that carnage that Hayden calls long runs. Everybody can classify a run as a long run because a long run could be 5K. Yeah, no matter where you are on your journey. So some of this will apply to all of you. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether you're catching 5K in or doing an ultra. All right, so long runs, yeah, it's all relatable.
Relative, yeah.
Okay. And there's no underestimating how tough they can actually be. Okay. Some days you can go out and you can do, I don't know, 8 miles and you feel like an absolute legend, or 7.69 miles and you feel like a hero. The following week, you could go out and you could do 7 miles and you feel ruined. There's sometimes no equating for it, okay? It can feel hard no matter when and where you do them, okay? So we've got some sort of strategies to put into play. That's what I've come up with, and we're going to discuss them. All right. So that's you're just seeing all the comments. So that's how we can sort of navigate this. We're going to give you some sort of strategies for you to put into place to help you with these long runs. Maybe you're training for London, maybe you're training for I don't know, Tokyo, or something in the autumn. You're coming to Chicago with us, or Great North Run, or whatever you're doing. Right. So the first thing I thought of is to, and I find this really helps me, is to break it up mentally before I've even started the damn thing. Now, it can be, like I said, 5K, 5 miles, 15 miles. Whatever I'm doing, I always break it up mentally into chunks. Wilco, was you today long running, or was that Chris who was long running today?
No, it's Chris who was long running today, but I did do quite a long run because and it sort of lent into this because it was 11 miles in total. It was sort of like with 8 miles of marathon pace in the middle, and a sort of like a 1.5 mile warm up and a 1.5 mile cool down. So it does break it up. And when you find that you're doing little bits, like maybe you're doing I don't know, a 16 miler or something like that. And sometimes if you break it up, you do 2 easy, 2 sort of like medium, 2 hard, you split it up into sections. You don't actually realize how far you're going because you're only concentrating on the segment that you're actually doing. I found that really helpful in this particular plan. So there's a bit of that. It's very good.
We did that the other day, Ben, didn't we? We got to was it like 9 miles or something? We went, bloody hell, that went quick.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? It was just like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know if you followed the channel, but we always break our long runs down into 3 and a bit miles. But I even take that mentality into a race. Ben, you've done the same, right?
We did that in. I think we did that first time we ran Berlin. We were kind of breaking each one down into the 5k route. Like Wilker said, I think it just focuses your mind on something else other than the kind of overall distance. You've just got that kind of, okay, I just need, I just get through these 3 miles. This is that plan. Okay, then the next 3 miles, and you're not kind of thinking, oh, I've got 20 miles to kind of do, or something like that. So I think breaking it down certainly helps and takes the pressure off a little bit.
Hayden, do you think before you go out of your strategy in terms of dealing with the long run, or do you just get on with it?
No, absolutely. Got to think before I go out. I think obviously before you go out, one of the most important things of any sort of long run, whether you call that, you said 5k, 10k, 20k, whatever it is, it's the route, and you sort of got to start thinking about the route. So straight away, even though you might have run the same route loads and loads of times, there's always going to be a little bit of an adaptation to it, depending on what run you're doing, what session you're doing, whether it's time based, whether it's distance based. So straight away, you're thinking to yourself before you go out, right, what am I going to do? Am I going to go around that bit there? Am I going to go down to the end? Am I going to go around the park? And a lot of it, as you said, breaking it down to sections absolutely massively helps. I think we've been over this so many times before, but one massive big part of it, and it's a bit of a cliche thing these days, it's becoming popular, is that buzzword, the park run sandwich, which absolutely breaks down that long run where you're going to basically do a third of let's say, just under half of your session, get to park run, do a park run, and do the other half on your way back. As you said, that breaking down in the middle bit, that just takes your mind off it. If you're a 30-minute park run, a 40-minute park run, a 45-minute, that sort of element of that run is almost taken out of it because you've got so much going on, or you might meet people there, see people. So straight away, you've broken that down to 10 different segments. And as you said, it's not just, right, I'm going out, 3-hour run, that's it. It's not. It's, I've got an hour to park run. I've got to do my park run. I've got a half hour easy. Then I've got a half hour, a bit more tempo pace. Straight away, that's 3 hours. It's more interesting.
Just quickly, Chris has just asked a question. Wilco, I just saw that. I think we've had a few questions,
Yeah, about vitamins and supplements to help you support endurance, recovery, and overall performance. I mean, if I could just sort of like make a mention of this, I mean, we have always talked about the importance of sleep and resting in recovery. I have started taking the herbal tablets that are available to help with you sleep, and since I've started this plan, and they've helped me enormously. I've got a lot better sleep. Consequently, I'm not feeling as knackered doing my training, and that's really helping. So I don't think you'd necessarily have to worry too much about what you're actually taking on the run, and just like all these little things, they all add up, don't they?
Ben, about you?
I think everyone knows I'm a massive fan of salt sticks and kind of use that during the run, but I also would recommend using it kind of make sure you have one as you finish. It kind of helps get that. And I've introduced like hydration tablets every morning. So it's the first thing I kind of drink. So I'll have like one of these. It's like 750 ml. Drop a hydration tablet. I mean, it could just be a Barocca, but I think I use Science in Sport, and it's got a mix of vitamins in there, and actually it just encourages me, gets me off, straight away before I've even thought about it. I've had almost a litre of water first thing in the morning, so that's something I started doing, I think, before Berlin in that training block, and I've just kind of carried that through.
Hayden, outside of your sort of de-aging thing and your cod liver oil for your joints and all the other things you have to have at your age, is there anything else that you have?
Yeah, I actually said about the age. I suppose it is an age thing. I'd take, I think it's glucosamine. It's like seashells that are crushed up. That's what the chiropractor explained to me. It actually helps rebuild cartilage in your body and your bones. So I'd say that's good for my knee. It's good for my back. I'll take a daily vitamin and a omega oil. It's actually, so admin's husband now, Bill, he was telling me about it. He said if you take those 3 omegas, what's it, 3, 6, and 9, whatever it is, if you take them every day and you have a strong heart, he said you will live longer than anyone else. I don't know why. He just said it to me one day, and I walked away from him. I just couldn't get out of my head, so I started thinking, I need to go into the omega.
Say that again. What is it?
I think it's omega 3, omega 6, and omega 9. Is it? I'm not 100% sure.
What's concerning me there is that he's giving you that advice.
Yeah,
he's never given me that advice. I reckon admin's told him not to give me that advice, so I don't live as long.
Get rid of you.
Yeah.
Also, maybe you have to take it at a certain age. And
trying to kill me. Because he's
because I'm like 1 year older than 40.
Or maybe he's like in a secret way. They're actually things that will help you grow.
Possibly.
It could possibly, or you get a pair of Brooks Glycerin Max and they make you grow.
Yeah, well,
quite high stacks.
we've seen it TikTok. Right, so moving on, because I think this is key, right? And this is really important to all of you. It doesn't matter if you're some sort of absolute legend like me, or you're the complete opposite like Ben, who doesn't really run much. It's really important to use a run walk strategy. It doesn't matter who you are, right? And how good you think you are. There's absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, I would recommend it in some respects, using a run walk strategy. Okay. Now, whether that is as simple as when you take your gel or whatever you're doing, and you're on those long runs, have a little quick walk and have it, because the chances are it's going to go all over you anyway, over your head and all that sort of stuff. I had one where it was coming back. I had a Kendall, and because we was running along, I was faffing about as I always do. And I actually opened it too much, and the bloody thing went all over me. And that, there's no point trying to get all stressed about all that sort of stuff. Have a little walk break. It ain't going to do you any harm, right? In terms of walking, you don't have to continually slog it out. Yeah, but they've got to be planned. You've got to know how long they're going to be, and they've got to be at points in which they're going to be productive, not counterproductive.
A couple of bits on this. You said because often it's a strategy you do, and it's something that I start doing. Like when you're doing a race, you walk through the walk and the drink aid stations and things like that. So that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No,
if you're doing that. No. And also, everybody does this. Inga Britson, he ran 3K in 7.17 minutes, and he walks the hills on his long runs because it's a long run. Because he's slowing down, because he doesn't need to be doing the thing. Now, if it's good enough for the greatest middle distance runner in the world, it's good enough for us.
Yeah, exactly. Hayden?
Yeah, I think Josh Kerr has something to say about that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought Josh Kerr, but yeah, go on.
No, yeah, I'm actually intrigued with this, because if I'm absolutely honest with you, it's not something I've ever done. Is it something I've considered? Maybe for ease of use for the sake of the aid station, but with regards to building it into my plan to help my body, what is your reasoning, Chris, for almost giving that advice? What is your reasoning for doing that and having that, like, I don't know, 10-second walk, 15-second walk?
It's reducing fatigue,
okay,
conserving energy, making the run less grueling, effectively. Right. As Wilco said, I'm out there on a long run. Yeah, I'm probably working relatively easy. Now, if I'm doing, let me put a caveat. If I'm doing goal pace work, I wouldn't do that, right? Yeah. So, I'll give you an example. Ben and I, we did, was it 15 miles, Ben, or something like that? Something, yeah. So the first, as we said, we just trotted along, whatever it was. That was very casual, very leisurely. Walk stops if I needed it to take a gel, bit of water, whatever, hydration. So I make sure I'm getting what I need to get in. But then when I went to work, there wasn't any. Right. So that's the difference. But yeah, in terms of it's basically reducing fatigue, conserving energy, breaking up, a grueling run for the sake of 30 seconds to take a gel, take a bit of hydration, or, wait at that traffic light. It can, honestly, you're not going to lose anything by doing it. I'm not telling you to do it all the time. I'm just saying to you, there's nothing wrong with it. Because what you see is people like head down, shuffling along, and then it shouldn't be that hard on these long runs if you do them properly. Yeah, and that's why I wanted to put it in. So don't be thinking, I've got to do 18 miles. Never going to be able to run all that. A bit lively. Break it up in terms of mentally, but also plan in run walk breaks. It ain't going to do you any harm. You're meant to be running easy. You're building that aerobic engine, by doing these longer runs. That's what it's all about, endurance building, what you're doing. And as you said, Wilco, Inga Britson walks up the hills. There we go, right? Fueling up. So talking about like gels and things like that. Fueling up's an interesting one, before and during. Now, I ran 15 miles on, wherever it was, starved. And by about mile 14, I was feeling that, the fact that I was running that starved. That's not something I'm recommending, by the way. It's just something that I was playing about, basically, because I'm trying to lose weight. But the thing is, I can do it because of my fitness levels. I'm not recommending that to anyone. But normally, I would fuel up for a run of 15 miles. Because I'm probably going to be putting in a fair amount of goal pace work in there and stuff like that. But if I was just doing 15 miles, which it was I would say 70% of it was easy. I'm pretty relaxed about fueling up for that. But I did fuel through the run. Now, here's a tip for all of you, by the way, in terms of breaking it down. And I told some lady on the Kendall stand the weekend, right, get your gels, right, if you're taking gels, and on the back of them, write the number in which you're going to take them. Whether that's at 5K, 10K, or 3 miles, 5 miles, 6 miles, number them. Or number them, gel number 1, gel number 2, gel number 3, gel number 4. And that way, firstly, it gives you something to think about. Oh, shit, I've got the wrong gel out. But you're counting down your gels as well. So, again, that breaking up thing. But you also make sure you're getting your hydration because you're thinking about, oh, I wonder what number I've got. What number gel have I got to take next? Boom, boom, boom. It's something to play with your mind, but it's also making sure you're getting the fueling when you should be getting it in. Little tip for you all. You're welcome. This is why we're award winning. Now, in terms of during, I don't want to go hell like major deep because we've done fueling stuff and we'll probably do stuff about it. Is there anything in terms of Hayden, anything you want to add in terms of fueling? I think it's, everybody knows they need to fuel. Is there anything you want to add to it?
I think when we're looking in relation at the moment, we're talking about long runs. I mean, so predominantly not talking about race day, we're talking about training. No. So we've been over there so many times before. The most important thing with all of this is to emulate what you're going to do on race day. So if on race day, your strategy is to do a gel every 40 minutes, every 35 minutes, go out on that long run and do exactly the same. Just because you're reducing the effort, don't think, I know what you're saying, Chris, but I say you're in different positions to other runners. Don't think to yourself, it's an easier effort today. So at 35, or it's a training run, I'm not going to do the gel at 35.
No, do it.
One of the most important things with taking the gel is training your stomach. And it's almost like, not frowned upon. People just say, it's almost like a throwaway comment. You train your stomach. You really, really are. You need to. I've been out of running a longer distance now for about 6 weeks. I went out on Sunday and done a long run, took a gel. It felt horrible. It felt really horrible. I had to get used to that taste. They're not great, these gels. It's really rare you find something that you absolutely really like. So you've got to get back into used to that frame of mind and not like holding your breath when you take the gel. It just becomes part of natural habit. 35 minutes, gel, done, put it down, keep running, get to an hour and 10 minutes, gel time. Just almost get it so it's just that rhythm that just going forward. And I said the only way you're ever going to learn that is to keep practicing it on them long runs.
And we'll give a shout out to Kendall at this point. You just go 40 runs over at Kendall. Even if you don't like gels, they do all natural food and stuff like that. Hydration obviously leads on from there. It's key to avoid fatigue, right? Yeah. Some again, and I got these because of the Kendall stand where I was talking to people, and we was talking. They were like, "When do I take this?" Because it was like electrolyte drink. What's the difference? That sort of stuff. So you need to be taking water. So I said to the lady, like, imagine you've got like a what they call the
hydration thing.
Put one bottle, put water in it. Other one, put in some isotonic electrolyte drinks. Yeah, and like if you're training for London, let's say, I would actually be putting Lucozade Sport in one of them because that's on course, right? So just get that in there now. But I'd have one of water, one of it because obviously water's the best thing you can have, but you do need electrolytes. Yeah, the sodium and the magnesium, you need that right in there. So make sure you're hydrating out there. Winter training is a little bit different because you may not need as much and you might not, and you may feel you don't need as much as actually you do, but it is really, really important to hydrate before, during, and after. Wilco, a question for you. How much effort do you put into hydrating after your long run? And I'm not talking the pub.
Yeah, it depends if we're in the Montague Pike. I do often like the first thing that I'll reach for is like if I come back from a long run, it will be a bottle of Lucozade Sport. Okay. I'd often have that, and then I want these people who sort of like I drink I try and drink as much. I'm not the greatest when it comes to hydrating. That I drink a lot of tea and things like that during the day. So
dehydration.
Yeah. So I'm not great at this at all.
Well, there you go.
Sorry, mate. I've sort of like before my run, as you say, go electrolytes, go heavy, all that sort of stuff. I'm looking at drinks that hold carbs and stuff. As soon as my run's finished, for me, it's about getting that protein in me. So I'll have a protein shake or even a milkshake. If I finish my run at the bottom of the road and I've got like a Tesco Espresso, I'll pop in there. I'll get a strawberry milkshake or something like that. I think for me, that protein, getting that into your body, get a bit of recovery, that's fairly important for me.
It's very important. Protein, in terms of the recovery. But, Hayden, this is where you let yourself down, and that's why you've got horrible, dry, wrinkly old... Oh, no, it's your age. you need to hydrate the rest of the day.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you need to make a conscious effort of replenishing what you've lost, but actually more. You need to make sure you're hydrating throughout the rest of the day. You need to, as somebody who's trained for something, you need to put a lot of emphasis on the hydration, nutrition side of things. So don't, just because you think you're getting it in coffee, tea, yeah, okay, you're getting it, but more. Okay, don't you all drowning. But it is really important, people. So make sure you do. Ben, anything to add? Because I'm going to go on to the next one.
Yeah, and I think the good test on that, and we've spoken about it a couple of times. We definitely spoke about it during summer training. Is the kind of P test?
We test people,
looking at that,
and Hayden does it all over his shoes.
Yeah,
the way Hayden does his wee test.
Sorry, Hayden.
Because he can't get to the bathroom because of his age, he buys white running shoes, and he wheezes on them so he can see what colour it is. Hayden, do you buy white running shoes?
Right, let's have one question at a time. First question,
do you
yes.
buy white running shoes?
Yes, I do.
So and the reason he does that, people, is so he can wee on them and he can see what colour his wee is. That's the only reason. So make sure you're checking your wee. Next one.
What is it? This geezer, honestly.
Right, I didn't start that with Ben.
Sorry, Hayden. I didn't mean it to go there.
I think you all know this anyway, especially if you're listening to this as an award-winning podcast. Did you know, by the way, we won an award? Did I mention?
I heard about this. Yeah.
And we didn't have to sponsor a thing to get that award. Now, does anybody listen to music or podcasts or books, audio books? Oh, yeah, Wilco's nodding on their runs.
Yeah.
Wilco?
Yep.
Always.
Long runs?
Yeah.
Okay. Hayden?
Yeah, absolutely. Always on long runs.
Ben, on your long runs? Don't lie, because you're with me.
I mean, I listen to you.
There it goes. Better than anything.
I know, right? It's literally like having a live. It's like having a
Imagine
live
that.
podcast.
It's no wonder.
every
It's no
week.
wonder he can run a marathon in under 3
This is
hours.
why he's so
Exactly.
damn fast. It's just like, get me away from him. This is the problem. So I don't want to go too much because it's speaking the obvious, right? In terms, you're trying to break things up, trying to take some of that, monotony away of getting to A to B and all that sort of stuff. Put something on that's going to take you away from the hurt and the pain that's coming from your legs. Actually, it brings us nicely on to the other thing that I said. There's a couple more, 3 more. Is to run with somebody. Obviously, I'm blessed. I run with Ben, as everybody knows, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I love running with Si. I love running with Speedgo. I love running with my mates. Okay, I absolutely love it. It really is just the best thing in the whole world. If you can find someone you can run with to do those long runs, I mean, you bumped into Chris today. That would have made his day, wouldn't it, Wilco?
Yeah. We weren't together long because he just went sort of.
No, he's about 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But it can make a huge difference. I mean, that's the beauty of our community, that you're bumbling along and you bump into another.
Because I go out running now with Debbie because she lives in the same village. We're about the same pace, and it's great. And we just sort of like say, oh yeah, we'll do 8 miles. We just go, and it flies because we just chat all the way around and we have a great time. I do. There's a massive benefit to. I don't wear my headphones and play my music when I'm out with other people, but I do think that it's quite important as well that you mix it up a little bit and you do the odd run when you're out on your own, just for just for those. It's the same as if you don't go out running because it's raining or because it's cold, because you don't know what's going to happen on race day. You might train with someone all the time, and then unfortunately they pick up an injury or they're ill on the day or something like that, and then you're in it. And you've got to. It's good to be able to. It's lovely running with people. I really enjoy it, but it does pay to mix it up a little bit, I think.
Again, you got, as I said before, you got to emulate race day conditions. So if you're going to run London Marathon, and like last year I was running with Chris, so if we'll do a few long ones together, we might as well, because we know it's going to be like. To be fair, so my wife Louise, we're going to run marathons together in April, and she actually did say to me, "I think we do need to go out on a few long ones together to make sure we get on." That's what she actually said. But like,
how long have you been married?
25 years. I know, but it's just the sake of literally running with. It's so true, and it works the other way around. There's no point in running with someone every single week. If on that race day, suddenly you're on your own.
I agree.
Suddenly that's something different. That's something new, and you're like. Shit.
I agree 1,000,000%. And there's someone who struggles like I do with like anxiety and all that sort of stuff, big events and things like that. Having obviously my mates there is critical for me just to survive. Yeah, even just to get to the race, I struggle with. But I will, and Ben will vouch for that, in my training, whether it's a race or whether it's a couple of training runs, I will go on my own. Like at Berlin, I ran on my own until Simon decided to throw up everywhere. But it was, done 20 miles. I think I was on my own.
But we also, during training, though, to
We did.
that point, we did our easy lap, recovery lap together. And then, so
The
we
hard
did one
stuff.
off, one on, one off. So you had and I had my pace by myself and by
6-minute mile.
yourself. So you did practice that.
Yeah, no, again, we do that. I'm conscious of that. But so it's a tip for everybody. But if you can find somebody at your local 40 Run satellite group or wherever you are that you can pick up and do some runs with, it is a bit of a game changer.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one. Using visualization. Yeah. Finishing what that feeling is going to be like when you get that run done. Just thank Christ for that. But no, it's true. It's like understanding, like we do laps, right? So it's like we know that the second to last one's going to be murder. But once we've done that second to last one, we know that we just leave whatever we've got there. It's that visualization of we know that this last 3 miles is the last 3 miles before we do our last 3 miles. If that makes any sense. But we know we've got to get it done we've already visualized that as we go out. We're thinking, right, we just got to get to that one, that penultimate lap, which we know is going to be ball ache. But we get that, right? So again, it's that visualization, but that can help you because you're sort of counting it down, and it doesn't matter whether it's like, and I've said it before, like when we used to do long runs down the thing, it was like once I see Morrison's, I know that I've only got like 3K home or whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's like it's that sort of thing, and I know that when I get there, I'm pretty much home and hosed. And it's to be honest with you, it's the same in races. When I've done races that I know, again, somebody who's very anxious about everything, and lives by routine and all that sort of stuff. Doing certain races that I know very well, like London's a classic example. I know all the points and where I am, which is why I enjoy the experience even more now because I've got accustomed to it. And I would say the same to you. If you can kind of have a quick look at a route that you're going to do, and even if you go like on Google Maps and try and hunt it out, different things that you're going to see along the way, visualizations. Like we ran back from London, and it was like, right, we've got to get to some of you won't like it, so get back to the Spurs Stadium. And from Spurs Stadium, we knew, I think we had 10K home or something like that, but we knew that we just had to get, and you could see it as you were getting closer and closer to it. Does that make any sense, Wilco?
Yeah.
You're nodding.
Yeah, I sort of like do it in reverse, sort of like when I'm in a race, because like if I've got 2 miles to do left in a race, I don't think of the finish line. I think, right, that's from the sun roundabout to my house, so I'm running that. So almost I'm sort of like doing that run. Okay, right, I've done a mile. Okay, I'm at the top of St Margaret's Road now, and things like that. And I just, something that I'm so routinely doing, a route that I might do sort of 2 or 3 times a week, I bring that to the party when I'm out doing a big race and stuff like that, in the closing stages particularly.
Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant. Hey, I've just seen a question about Tokyo.
Yep.
Sorry, but I know we're going sort of slightly off topic, but there was a question because
I've got it here, mate. Do you want me to read it? It's from Mark Vanson. He's talking about a lack of bringing your own bottles to the Tokyo Marathon. He's a bit worried about it.
Yeah, to be fair, it's not just Tokyo. Tokyo is one of the marathons. It's a lot of the marathons now. They won't let you take your own bottles and stuff through. So people are a bit anxious about it. I would say the same thing, emulate race day conditions. What you want to do is get the Pocari Sweat. That's what they have on course at Tokyo everywhere. It's actually quite nice. I didn't mind that at all. And just try and get used to that. They have water and the Pocari Sweat everywhere. So again, if you start using that now, what's Tokyo? 5 weeks away? So start using it now. Start getting used to that. That's when you're on day. You've got that on the course on the day because, you can't take bottles through. To be honest, I think Chicago's the same. There's a load of them now. It's just they say it's a security issue. I'm not sure if it is. I don't know what the problem is with it, but they just don't like you taking through any drinks anymore. But Tokyo definitely is one of them.
I thought when he said that he couldn't take his bottles through, I thought it was a bit like at the Manchester Marathon where you go into where it all starts at Old Trafford, and people would they had bottles of champagne in their bag to have afterwards, and they were taking them off them because they weren't allowed to take them into the cricket ground.
I just want to get onto Katie's point. She says she suffers badly with anxiety and she's doing Brighton for the first time. I'm panicking badly. Katie, 2 things for you. Firstly, are you part of the 40 Runs running community? If you're not, join that immediately, because there's, Wilco, how many people we got doing it? About 600 million of us?
Loads.
Yeah. So you will find people within 40 Runs who will be there and you will see them and they will talk to you. Firstly, I'm going to be there. And if you don't find anyone else,
I'm going to be there. And I'll
Wilco's
talk
going to
to
be there. Come and find us. I will be riddled with anxiety as well. So come and find me and we can sit there and shake together. The other thing that's important is that we're going to be doing a shakeout run with Brooks and Park Run on Saturday morning. What's the park called?
Preston
Park, Katie. And anybody who's doing, Brian, come along to that, Katie, because you'll probably meet somebody within 40 runs, who's going to be doing it. And you can pair up with them. The amount of times we've told this story, that they come to a shakeout run and they then meet that person on race day and they run the whole damn thing together. Okay. And that's the power of what we do here at 40 Runs. Okay. So, Katie, I 100% understand where you are, but come along. If you're not in the community already, get involved, but come along to that shakeout run. What was it called again?
Preston Park. I actually know 3 ladies. They're all doing Brighton Marathon, and all 3 are in exactly the same position as you, Katie. They're all really anxious about it. 2 of them is their first marathon. They're really nervous. So, yeah, great advice, Chris. Definitely.
Come together. We'll be there. I said, I'll be there. Come and talk to me about it. I'm very happy to talk about those sort of things and how I battle it and how I get through it. Very, very happy to talk about that. The last thing I just want to say on the long runs, and I think it's worth mentioning, it's a bit of an add-on at the end. It is about the clothing side of things, because I think in the winter it's hard, right? And you go out, like especially like this time, like now, you go out, it's -3. You finish, it's 10 degrees, and you're like, what am I meant to do here? Like, how do you do it? Obviously, common sense is layers, as we know. But if you're taking like a hydration thing, stick some of it in there. Get that stuff that wraps up. If you'll go down a really long run, wear stuff that's like quite thin that you can wrap up, like, and stick it in the back, and then sort of go out like that. That's probably the biggest tip for you. I mean, like, we do the laps. One of the reasons we do the laps is because we can basically strip off as we go around. It's like I go from a thick gilet to a thin gilet. Change my hat, change my gloves, and I've changed shoes during a run. I'm reviewing a pair of shoes and they're bloody awful. And I've generally changed them. I've done that, right? And so that's one of the benefits of doing what we do. So if you're worried about like clothing and things like that, do like laps from your house, do like 4-mile loops or something like that. So this time of year where the weather's changing and it can be blinking freezing when you start off, but it can be subtropical when you finish. That's something to think about. Think about what you're wearing. It's like, I see people like now, I make you laugh, but I see people in like wearing like the leggings and stuff. Are you going to be wearing those leggings on race day? No. Maybe yes. I don't know.
No.
Think about it. Yeah, I appreciate you're going to get cold, but once you get warmed up, you'll be all right. Yeah. You don't have to wear leggings because it's winter. So try and emulate again on the long runs. I'm not saying wear a vest, by the way. But I'm just saying, be sensible in terms of think about it. Like, this is the time to try these things out, whether you're going half tights, capris, whatever it is. Yeah, whatever, again, I'm not telling you what you should and shouldn't do, but just think about clothing as well. Some of those, maybe those tops that you might be wearing, some of those, snoods or whatever, sunglasses, whatever you're potentially going to be wearing on race day, stick them into your long runs. Yeah.
We've always got that cliche, haven't you, about always dress for the second mile. And I know it's cold. Yeah. And I know it's cold going out first, but I think actually might give him credit for this. It might have been FORDY said this. So a great tip recently is do your warm up indoors before you go out. Do your dynamic warm up so you start to build up a sweat, so you're warm. So when you go back out, so that first mile or 2 miles isn't going to feel so cold. And by the second mile, you're into it anyway, and you're warm. So
heart rate's up. It's not working as hard. You've got to remember, your heart rate works harder to heat you. Yeah, so you're working harder to heat yourself up. Unless you're close. Well done, Jem. She's just hardcore. But yeah, it's true. You work harder to heat yourself up. Your blood's got to be pumped around. So if you do your warm up inside, dynamics, movements and things like that, it's going to be a little bit easier when you get going. Ben, you're going to say something?
Yeah, and I think with that as well, it gets you, once you've made that commitment, it's like, because, you might open the door and you're freezing cold, right? If you haven't done your warm up, you kind of then do the, like I may do, is just kind of go, I just can't be bothered to go running. It's cold, it's raining or something like that. Whereas actually, if you've done your warm up, you're kind of like, your blood's pumping, as you say, your heart's going. So you're just like, right, let's go. Like, let's just get on with it.
Yeah, it's amazing. So there we go, people. We hope we've added some value. We get some lovely comments for Katie to join the 40 Runs running community from some of our amazing people are part of that. I think that's great advice to Katie and anybody else who's suffering with stuff like that. By the way, it's totally normal to feel anxious about your first like big event like that. It's totally normal. That's why I started 40 runs, because I was on my own, like you, Katie, and that's how this madness all started. So totally with you on that side of things. Boys, out of 10, I would say we scored 100 out of 10 in terms of adding value tonight. Wilco, would you agree?
Yeah, slow start, but we picked it up. Yeah, it was good.
I suppose if you ignore the first 20 minutes, then.
I mean, there was a game. There was great intro.
Game. It's a war win. ITV want to take that game.
What I would suggest is there was something for everybody.
There was definitely something for Darren.
Bless him.
Although I don't know which part.
And I might suggest sunglasses tomorrow if anyone's going to Bushy.
Any particular reason?
I've just heard it might be bright.
Apparently it's going to be bright. I've got 2 pairs of sunglasses. Hayden, so we are going to get shot. In terms of next week, have we got any ideas what you want to talk about?
On the pod?
Yeah.
Just thinking why don't people email in? Why don't you email in? What we're talking about? Longrunshow@gmail.com. Emailing me your ideas, what we have a chat about next week.
And also, and this is where I was going with it. What I want to do, I want to bring back our race reviews, and we are coming up to race season starting. I think it sort of really kicks off with like the winter 10K weekend. That's sort of
about Watford half.
We've got Watford after, don't we? Oh. Yeah, bloody what? Anyway, so if you're doing races, we want to hear your reviews of the races, okay? Because mainly we've got a really good intro for that doesn't involve Hayden's arse. So if you could send them in, what was the email address, Hayden?
It is longrunshow@gmail.com.
So
if people could keep them quite brief, that would be handy, because the briefer they are, the more that we can get in. So just a couple of sentences about how it went, that would be lovely. Because
the most important thing is to rate it.
Score out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you've got to rate it. We, to be honest with you, you could just write in Watford half, 1 out of 10, and we would read it out.
Yeah.
Right?
Great. That's ideal. Bang on.
Yeah. Signed Mr. C. Ford.
Royal Parks, Pony Medal, 0 out of 10.
Oh, sorry. Can we talk about that? I'm sorry. You can't let that get away. Oh. Did you see the price of Royal Parks?
No, because I was genius. What I did was, as soon as they sent me an email, I hit unsubscribe, block. I've got no interest, although I like the event, and I like the fact we have volunteers there. But it's not something I need to rush back unless I'm invited along to. What's the price of it, Hayden?
It was 70 quid.
For what?
For Royal Parks, half. 70 quid. It's great. People were scared to hit that £50 barrier. And once they did, it was going up and up. And I think Landmarks went in with a 60, 62. Everyone's like, this is getting a bit out of that. 70 quid. That's a lot of money. I'm doing Barcelona half marathon 2 weeks today. It was €23 or €25. 20 quid.
Yeah, but your outrageous. Footprint's outrageous with your private jet.
I'd probably get to Barcelona with the flight return than cheaper than doing Royal Parks.
I thought, going through the application process with, I think it was particularly bad that they said, you can come into a second ballot, but you'll lose your 70 quid.
What?
So there's a second ballot option, but you pay the money, and then if you don't get in, they take it as a charity.
And do you get anything for that? Because at least with London, you get the tech.
So I'd suggest the Royal Parks, if they need to raise some money, I'll be controversial, probably. I'd go down to the bottom of the Mall, knock on the front door and say, you own these parks, mate. How about chipping in and giving some people some money so they don't have to pay 70 quid a month?
Wilco, we're going to lose that award.
I don't care.
He doesn't care. And as Chris Smith, we didn't win it for all the running chat. We got it for the first 20 minutes of the show. Yeah, I think it's too steep. As always, they're all taking the piss. But until all these people stop paying it, then they're going to continue to do it.
And on the other hand, all 3 of you are paying 40 quid to run 5K and get a bobble out in Chicago.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Well, it's relative, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, it's a good point, Hayden. What do you think about that?
It's
got you by the horse there.
No, it hasn't. I'll tell you why. Because you get a metal medal. You go to Royal Parks, you get an old tat, they're a bit of wood. Honestly, no. I'm sorry. There's limits to everything. That's so much different. You can't compare that bobble hat run in Chicago.
It's all. The thing is, though, it's relative. Like if it's like their dream and they want to, run around London and do one of these races, then maybe they would feel that 70 quid is worth paying in
Yep.
the same way
Mhm.
that other people, we have now it's come to a point where we've normalized flying across the other side of the world to do
Yep.
these big marathons and stuff like that.
Yep.
And people say, I'm paying this because this is a once in a lifetime experience. For some people, it's a once in a lifetime experience to run around the streets of London.
To be fair, he's got very good points here.
I don't think so. I don't think you run around the streets of London at Royal Parks. Over half of it's in that bloody Hyde Park. It's like a park run. So
Yes,
you pay
but for
70 quid for a park run.
Yes, but some people,
Outrageous.
for some people, it's what they, it's what they really like to do, and it's what they can afford to do. So I would never say, don't do it. It's too much money. But
My only caveat would be, I must be honest, I'm probably put off because it's the very first race I ever run with a certain gentleman down there in that bottom right corner. So maybe that's just done me in. Maybe that put me off. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is.
Why are you
No,
going-
not that way. That way.
I haven't done
what I
Royal
don't
Parks.
like about Royal Parks is actually you're not really in the Royal Parks. You just run around the streets of London like a normal race, and then they put you in there.
I will defend in terms of one aspect with it. Wilco, you back me up on this. You can defer, or well, not defer. You can pass your place. So if you get it and then you can't do
6
the race,
weeks before, because like
6
Ben got a
weeks
place
before
in
you
Chicago.
Oh wow, amazing! I'm going to sign up tomorrow. What a deal!
But in
That's
terms
amazing.
Yeah, but
I'll pay
Hayden, a
70
lot
quid
of
for that.
races will not
Amazing.
let you do that,
No, you
and then
sold
you
it to me,
lose
mate.
it.
Yeah.
What's brilliant,
I'm
right?
just defending them. I'm giving an alternate opinion.
What's great is the fact that the man with the most money in the world is arguing about the 70 quid. That's the best thing. That's what I want to think about the whole thing, really. Right, we're going to leave it there before Hayden and Wilco get into a fist fight about 70 quid. We shall be. I'm back on Monday live on this award-winning. Did I mention we won an award on this award-winning podcast? And we shall be back next week. And we don't know what we're going to talk about. Hopefully, you're going to email in some topics, and we may pick one of those up. Or it's going to be left to me, which is brilliant. I promise that we will bring that quiz back, or whatever it was called, at a convenient time, because it seems to have gone down very well. Hayden, good luck with Darren explaining that tomorrow. And we shall wish you all well. Say goodbye, everybody.
See you later.
Bye.